What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 73 of Lyon Live, here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are doing fantastic. Today, we take on a rather familiar side, Social Montbéliard, the team who, of course, we managed last year in Football Manager. They got a bit of a miracle promotion last year, as you will know, and they are predicted to finish rock bottom of the league. They're currently in 18th. They're putting up a fight. And to be fair, there are 4 teams on 17 points. There's a couple of teams only, one win ahead of them as well. So it's very close at the bottom of the table. And we take them on today in the first game of the episode. I was curiously just looking through their team. When you look at the star ratings of their team and the fact that Fuchs is their best player and he was one of our star players when we managed them, I feel like we have to go into this game expecting a win. In terms of how we're going to play, I've got a bit of a dilemma. Do I want to stick with the 5-man midfield, or do I want to go to what we know best? And I feel like I do kind of want to go to what we know best. Now, this is our preset kind of best 11 that we set right back at the start of the year. Obviously, it's kind of changed a little bit. I am tempted to give Tolisso another run at left wing back, or rather left back for us, and just see how he gets on. In terms of the rest of the team, Moise Kean got that fantastic goal last episode playing out on the left, so I'm almost tempted to give him another shot. Aouar's been complaining about lack of first-team football, so I may choose to start him over Fekir, despite the fact Fekir did get a goal against Marseille last time out. And, Toussaint, is he going to be fit for the game in 2 days' time? He is not, so Lucas Romero is going to have to come in there. And then on the bench, I think we'll bring in Gnan on, just because he's a good little defensive option potentially for us. But yeah, let's see how we get on today. Kicking things off, PSG taking on Dijon, who are down in 5th. Dijon, can you do us a favour? They can't. In some ways, that gives us a little bit of a favour. I feel like at this point, I talked about this last time out, but the title has escaped us. We are not going to be fighting for it this year, realistically. So the fact that Dijon have just lost, the team closest to us, and have played 2 games more than us, puts us in now a little bit more of a comfortable position to hopefully kick on and guarantee ourselves that Champions League spot, which is what we really desperately crave at the very least this year. But yeah, we've only got 3 games today, and it's going to be the last 3 games prior to the kind of winter break that kicks in here in France. Lenglet's got a few teams interested in him. Of course, if you watched last episode, you'll know that the Lenglet saga felt like it had a bit of a conclusion. And he has, well, hopefully signed a new contract with us, although it's yet to go through just yet. Apparently, Mendy's been doing okay with his development, the left-back. He's solid, Mendy. Obviously, French international, but I do feel like he's the one player in our team at left-back who I feel like isn't world-class, which might seem a little bit odd. I feel like when you look at our team on paper, it is a team that should be kind of challenging for the title, but this year we've just been a little bit off the boil, it feels like. Lenglet commits his future to the club. He's delighted to continue due to his admiration for us. The fans are happy. I'm happy. I'm sure there's a few of you guys who, off the back of him trying to force a move last year, probably feel like, why would you even offer him a new contract? But I do feel like he's a very, very good and important player for us. Benjamin Pavard would be an interesting option at centre mid. He's currently at, as you can see here, Chelsea. They signed him for 31 million. To be fair, he's been their star player for a number of years, so I can't see a world in which we can sign him realistically. We are one of the later kickoffs today, so Monaco, who are leading the table, taking on Havre, or Havre. Still don't know the team's pronunciation, but can they do us a favour? They can. They get a draw, which actually is probably a good result as far as we're concerned. Only 15 points behind Monaco. We're winning our next game and we'll be 12 points behind them. And then there'll be a little bit of that false hope maybe start to kick in. Durand, how have you been doing lately? You've been doing okay. Not terrible, not amazing. Keita got another goal for Auxerre, which is great to see. Maxi, playing for Bordeaux, didn't have the best of games. Good to see him benefiting from his loan spell. I'm still not convinced he's going to be a player who's going to be good enough to play for us longer term. We can still offer him a new contract where he's happy to be a hot prospect. So in terms of just getting him on a slightly longer deal to make sure that we get a good transfer fee for him, I think that's probably a smart thing to do. He's only got a year and a half left on his current contract and he doesn't want a wage rise, which is good. Our facilities, our youth and training facilities being upgraded has been completed, so that's some good news there. It's all coming up Millhouse suddenly. It's all just coming together, it feels like. Lenglet's happy, signed a new contract. We're just waiting on Fekir to forgive us. And then we'll be in dreamland and everyone will be happy. And maybe we can, from here, kick on, get a good run in the Champions League, try and win some silverware domestically. And really, I feel like at this point, just guarantee ourselves that top 4 Champions League finish. That has to be the aim. We have got Toulouse in a couple of games' time as our last league game of kind of the calendar year. They are bottom of the league, so that's a game we'll very much go into expecting to come away with all 3 points. And to be fair, today in today's 2 league games against bottom and second from bottom, we should be getting 6 points. The game against Dijon in the Cup might be a little bit more challenging, but I'd still back us to do well. Jovic hasn't done particularly well for us since he joined us. I say Jovic, it's not Jovic, it's Jolovic. There's too many DJ is easier, isn't it? Danny J, as he's also known. He's improved a little bit since he went on loan to Brest, but he's not been in exactly fine form for them. 0-0 in that game there. And well, we are the last game of the game week here. Playing against a slightly weaker team than usual, I guess, in Sochaux. And Ndombele is fit enough to play today's game. I feel like this is a good opportunity for us to hopefully kick on now. We'll give Aouar that first team football. He's been asking for a few more starts. And hopefully he's going to kind of get over that now. I feel like slowly we're kind of regaining the dressing room here. A few of the big players in the dressing room starting to get a little bit happier. And well, let's see what we can do here against them today. They're playing a 5 at the back system with wing backs, which is actually kind of good. I feel like we struggle against teams who hit us on the break and have players in the wider areas of midfield who get in behind our fullbacks. With them using wing backs, I'm a little bit less concerned about those wing backs getting in behind us on the counter because they're starting that much more deeper. Of course, we'll keep an eye on Tizzy, who's on loan at them, the number 7. Eder Militao, free kick, not far wide at all there. Would love to get a few goals here. A confidence-building performance would be nice, particularly for the likes of Moiskine and Gabels. Aouar's picked up a little bit of a knock, but he should be okay to run it off. Tolisso picking up an early booking at left-back is perhaps a tiny bit of cause for concern. Half an hour gone, dominating possession. Only 2 shots on target, though. Can we find a breakthrough whilst we're on top in this game? That's going to be the real question. Pressing high up the pitch here, calamitous defending, it falls to us, it hits the woodwork, it gets cleared away, Jondo Fuchs in the end scrambles it away. Man, that was a golden opportunity, calamitous defending by Sochaux, just deflected off one of the defenders and attempted clearance, fell kindly to us and we hit the woodwork. Best chance of the half so far for either team. Might not get many as good as that, although we have maybe an opportunity here. Coman to Aouar. Switches the play really nicely to Tolisso, who could cut inside or could put it on a plate for Gabels. What a stop that is by Prevost in goal for them. My word, that is an insane save at the back post. Still not done though. 3 highlights to end the first half here. And actually it's going to be Diallo, number 9 for them, clean through, hits it. Not the best of efforts in the end. Lopez got down to it. Made a very assured save. That ensures that, well, Sochaux don't grab a late goal here, although it might not be completely over here. Sofian, Daram, unfortunately, or Daham even. Tomasevic was offside, however, there, the left-back for them. How do I feel about that half? Underwhelmed is probably the best way to describe it. Not happy, boys. Not happy whatsoever. Coman's been poor. We'll give players a chance just in the second half to kind of step things up. I'm going to tell Lucas Romero that I'm unhappy and he reacts accordingly. Let's crack on in this second half now, please, boys. We've dominated the game. Only 5 shots on target is a little bit poor. We did create 2 clear-cut chances. Just a shame that we've not been able to finish them. With that in mind, we might want to change our attacking options as the game goes on if we can't find an early breakthrough here. Although the fact we've got a highlight time 3 set minutes into the half fills me with hope. That hope quickly fades, however. Gabel's free header nods it wide of the post. We've been all over them so far in this game. We just can't quite find that breakthrough. I think I'm going to switch to the more direct attacking style of play. Less concerned about getting hit on the break here, just because of how much more defensive they are with their formation versus some of the other teams who play counter-attacking against us. I'm going to bring in Mendy for Tolisso, who's on a booking. Gabels has been poor. We'll take him off for Maulida, and I'm going to play Maulida out on the left and play Moise Kean as the advance forward down the middle, I think. But yeah, we're going to go more direct, a little bit more attacking here. Aouar, can you put in a ball of quality? Back post, Wallace is there, nods it to Romero. Questions maybe of a foul or offside. It's not going to be given. Lucas Romero gets the breakthrough, finally. His second goal of the season, the Argentine centre mid, the versatile option that I feel like is just our most common kind of player to bring on off the bench to have an impact. And well, have an impact he certainly has there. He's not the tallest player in the world, but it's a nice little header. And hopefully now with our tails up and the deadlock broken, we can go out and score a few more with confidence high. Aouar dinks it through to Moise Kean. Lovely touch, strikes it, blocked away. That was a clear-cut chance, I think. Defending was good. It might not be completely over just yet. Mendy and Aouar, nice little give and go. Mendy cuts inside to Romero, who switches it to Eder Militao. Now with Koeman, can he get it into the danger area? He hits it, and I mean, what a finish that is. Right into the top corner, 2-0. I want to say it's game over now. I can't see a way that Sochaux grabbed 2 in this game. Lucas Romero, again involved in the build-up play. Eder Militao, nice little ball through, but Koeman's run here, superb. And the finish, my word, could have had 2 keepers in goal. I don't think they would have stopped that one hitting the back of the net. Aouar, we want to make it free. We want to, really slaughter them here, inflict some pain, bring the pain. Salah bringing the ball forward for them. Passes it to Tizzy and Ada. Lovely stop, and I mean, mercifully for us, our own player has not scored against us there. We'll just demand a little bit more from the players. We looked a little bit tired there, not really chasing back. We'll bring in Fekir for Aouar, who struggled a little bit in this game, I think, with our last change. Picked up what might be a small knock earlier on in the game. We played him through it, but his condition towards the end has faded away. Fekir whips it in off the bench. I mean, there's no time here for another goal. It's not going to matter, though. 2-0, we'll take that every day of the week. A lovely little result. Koeman, man of the match, deservedly so for that second goal. Great effort by him. Keeper made some big saves as well for us, Lopez. We closed the gap on Auxerre to 10, but we do also have a game in hand still. Guingamp, 4 points behind us, played the same amount of games. Probably could have been a few more on another day. And Ada, we get the little loan update from him. We know how his loan spell went because we just bared witness to it. Had some good opportunities, didn't really take them, but I'm somewhat relieved he didn't. Next game here is against Dijon, who are currently up in 5th. It's away from home. With that in mind, I'm tempted to switch back to the 5-man midfield system, Might be the right option to go with. I don't think Toussaint's going to be fit for today's game. I think we can rotate things around just a little bit here. Bring in Fekir, bring in Depay, maybe bring in Trincao as well. Start Maulida as the striker. Tolisso's going to be suspended. Could give Moreno a run out, I think. This is a cup game, so it doesn't have quite the same priority perhaps as some of our other matches. But make no mistake, I want to win every single match that we're involved in. Depay started the season well, but it's kind of faded away when we've given him chances. Anyway, we've got the Champions League draw here. Let's see who we get. Realistically, who would I want? Well, looking at it here, we can't get a... we're going to get a Premier League side or Valencia. Well, we can't get Valencia and we can't get the French side, so we're guaranteed a Premier League draw, I'm pretty sure. The way that this works out. I'm pretty sure we can't get drawn against another French side. We'll find out. It looks like it's going to be Liverpool or Arsenal, which is a teeny bit concerning. We're going to be one of the last teams out of the hat here. It's going to be Liverpool or PSG. I feel like we have to get Liverpool here. We do. Liverpool, the previous champions, currently top of the Premier League. That could have been an easier draw. I'm not going to lie to you. A few games getting rearranged because of that. But yeah, Liverpool currently top of the league in the Premier League. You can see 4 points clear of Man City coming up to the halfway point. They've won the league the last 2 years. They won the Champions League last year as well. I mean, ultimately, you've got to beat the best teams to win the Champions League, but I would have liked an easier route to reach the quarterfinals, which is where our board expect us to be this year. I'd like to believe that even if we didn't quite make that, the board would be understanding of the fact we've not made it due to the fact we have been taking on a formidable opposition in Liverpool. Anyway, cup games getting underway here. Bordeaux knocking out Saint Etienne. Rennes, I would love you to do us a little favour here. They can't do us a little favour. PSG going to stay in the competition. We've got Dijon away. I'm not confident going into this game, and that might sound really weird. For some reason, did that Rennes game get added recently? For some reason, I thought that the Toulouse game was the last game before the winter break, but I've lied. Winter break could be interesting this year, though. Maybe got to fend off a bit of interest in some of our players. I'm not completely against the idea of selling Fekir, although, as I did talk about last episode, I'm not the biggest fan of selling players midway through the season, particularly when I feel like they contribute a lot to the team, which is certainly the case with Fekir. He gets us 30 goals a year through assists and goals. Gravenberch doing well. Antonio Marin grabbing 2 goals for Genoa as well as a good little performance for him, albeit in the Italian Cup. He's really not developed as much as you would like to see, which is a tad bit unfortunate. Of course, I think he broke his foot or his ankle first season for us, and that really stifled his development. DJ got a goal and an assist for Brest in the Cup. Aneda with a goal for Sochaux in the Cup. I mean, all our players getting involved in play. Hopefully it can be the players who play for us now who can get involved and do us a job here. Ndombele struggling a little bit for fitness. So I might even start Aouar at box-to-box midfielder for this game. Trincão's been very, very poor, so I may give Malcolm the nod here out on the left. Certainly an option worth weighing up. It's a shame about Ndombele's fitness. He can be on the bench waiting to come on. Am I happy with this team? You know what? I could probably give Coman the start. He's missed a few games coming back from injury. We'll play him at right attacking midfielder for this game. He's fit enough to play in it. I feel like between Malcolm and Trincão, we've really struggled to find form out on the right wing with our left-footed players. So we'll go back to the tried, true and tested and see how that option can do for us, I guess. Dijon, though, here, not going to be easy. They're high in the league. They're at home for this cup game. Perhaps showing them a degree of respect by playing the system that we've been kind of resorting to against more, I guess, scary opposition with the 3-man midfield. I do also feel like this system works quite nicely in terms of against teams who might look to set up to hit us on the break like Dijon have here. With this system, we don't try and dominate the ball like we do with our other systems. We're happy to let other teams have the ball rather than building up slow and sustained pressure. And I feel like against teams who are looking to counter on us, the fact that we don't play as slow and methodical and kind of work the ball slowly up the pitch leaves a little bit less space in behind us when we do elect to play this system. Anyway, Wallace and Lenglet deciding to have their own little game. We do eventually build up the play here, and Coman bringing it forward. All on his lonesome. Fred through Aouar, who should score there. And his effort goes narrowly wide of the post. It was a really great golden opportunity for him. Found an inch of space, couldn't take it. Memphis with a set piece goes narrowly over the crossbar. 20 minutes gone and we look like the team that, well, is more threatening here. Ultimately, however, we need to find a breakthrough. We can't just look threatening, we need to be threatening. Half an hour gone and beyond. We're coming up to half time and it's still 0-0. Not a great deal of opportunities. The good news is that Dijon really haven't done a lot so far to threaten our goal, but as we've experienced a few times throughout this season, that doesn't mean a great deal if they create one great opportunity, which, well, we have to try and stop them from doing here. Coman to Aouar. This time he does find the back of the net. That was the kind of finish I expected previously. Good little assist by Coman, justifying the decision to start him in the game. Obviously, with inside forwards, I know some people are really strictly against using a right-footed player on the right to play a role that involves cutting inside. I'm not as concerned about that. I feel like Coman's been a fine example for us of a player who has frequently played out on the right, as a winger and as an inside forward, but has, not really shown a massive weakness being, I guess, not playing on his stronger foot and having the ability to cut in on his stronger foot. But 1-0 at the break, we'll certainly take that. I noticed there that Toulouse, I think, who are bottom of the league, are currently drawing with Monaco, who are top in the league in the Cup. would probably do us a favour if both Monaco and PSG could be knocked out by smaller teams. That being said, I feel like we've taken the game to both sides when we've had to go up against them. Of course, we beat Monaco in the league. We've drawn against PSG. Our season thus far has been defined by the fact that against some of the smaller teams, a bit like how Dijon have set up here, we've just been caught out by them. 17 minutes left. Let's make some changes here. I'm going to bring in Malcolm and switch Coman onto the other wing. Lucas Romero is not the best of games, so I think we'll bring in Tanguy and Ndombele to build up a little bit of fitness. And Maulida can come off for Gabels, I think, in the final third. We'll go with a triple change. There's only 15 minutes left. I feel like, given how this game's gone, again, similarly to the game against Sochaux, there's not really a reason to go more defensive here. At least from what we're seeing, we've been the better team. We've won the ball high up the pitch here as well. Could we get a second? It would help me relax just a little bit. Malcolm, bring the ball forward. Hits it. I mean, Runarsson there has just picked the ball out of the air. He's plucked it out there. It was a great save. Not a bad effort either by Malcolm. It looked destined to find the back of the net. And to be honest, that has been the only highlight to end this game. It's been a game devoid of real opportunities, but we scored the one goal that mattered. Lenglet picks up man of the match, maybe justifying that new contract. And we go marching on, fortunately for us. Durand couldn't keep a clean sheet, but he's still improving, and that's the main thing. I mean, he's 17 years old. I'm really excited about Durand because I feel like the goalkeeping position is just one of such large responsibility, It's a role that you really rely on in your team, and the fact that Lyon are relying on him and have done for the previous 2 years, it's just great. He's been there now for the last 2 years. He's very much their first choice keeper, and I feel like he's really justified the hype around him. I was just checking to make sure he had an optional contract extension clause in his contract because he's only got a year and a half left of his current deal. But he does have that optional extension, which I'm certain that we will exercise once he turns 18 and he's eligible to have that triggered in his contract. He's a player who I very much see as being the long-term solution as much as anything to the goalkeeping position in our team. I noticed that Toulouse we've got next, at least according to our scout report, may well play with a libero, which is interesting. We reached 200 games in management as well, which is quite the achievement when you consider that all 200 of those have happened over the last 72 episodes. We just look at history here. You can see some of the stats. Players value sold, players of value bought. Kingsley Coman still our biggest transfer. In 200 games we've won, in 199 games we've won 141, we've drawn 29 and we've lost 29. It's kind of satisfying the fact that those two numbers match. Goals for and goals against. We've scored about 3 goals for every 1 goal we concede. Win percentage of 70% is very, very good. 6 cup wins, 1 league win. I feel like we've actually done very, very well here at Lyon over the last couple of years. I know that some people will be like, you should be winning the league every season by now. I feel like when you look at the context of things and just the fact that we've met a formidable PSG side and Monaco have looked very, very strong as well. And the fact that we're consistently challenging well and the fact that we won the Champions League is just really worth applauding. Interesting that our scouts are throwing up a lot of suggestions from Barcelona. I can only assume that this is down to the fact that they are unhappy, these players, because they missed out on the Champions League knockout round. I realise I've not really looked at what players are going to be coming available at the end of the year, but I did notice there that Messi was one player with a contract expiring in 6 months. We should almost certainly set up just a little contract clause. Do you want to work filters? Do you want... what's happening here? Right, lag? I don't know. Contract status, expiring in 6 months. There's not going to be any options here. I need to put it on expiring in 1 year. And then we are going to mass scout all the players of reasonable value here, just to see what's maybe coming up on the market and available as a free transfer. Areola could be a good little backup goalkeeper. He's not particularly old. Matuidi, aged 34, maybe a little bit over the hump to be worth signing. But hey, we'll get scout reports on all of these players. You might be wondering why I'm doing this in smaller chunks at a time. The reason is you can only scout a maximum of 50 players at a time. They added in that limit at some point. I don't really know why that limit exists. I don't know if it's a technical reason that the game would really start to lag if you were to do more than 50 at a time. But we're going to go quite a long way down this list. Hopefully we can pick up the majority of these players' kind of scout reports before the end of December. Might be a teeny tiny bit ambitious now. There's plenty of big names though to recognise here. You know, there's players like Forsu Mensah who I've seen become very, very good. Mousset, good little French forward, potential option. I think I noticed a Campos of Marseille, contract expiring. Could sign him from our rivals. I don't think we'll be signing a load of these options, but hey, it's worth just having them on our radar, I feel like. Particularly if there's any... They're a little bit younger, you know, like in their early to mid-20s. I'm talking kind of up to the age of perhaps 27 would probably be about as old as I'd want to go. Other than, say, maybe a Messi or something. Looks like there's some okay players. Players like Maitland-Niles probably worth a look into. We'll see what the scout reports throw up. I'm sure there's players here who you guys recognise. There's certainly some that I've seen come pretty good in saves in the past. Whether or not they're close to reaching that potential kind of remains to be seen. But yeah, it's worth having a look through these players, particularly given the fact that we can just sign them on freeze. Even if it's just from the perspective of let's try and make some money. But anyway, let's get into today's last game of the episode. It's going to be against Toulouse. They're down in 20th. I choose to believe they're down in 20th for a reason, and I don't want to think it's because they're playing with a libero, but that might play a role in it. Will be interesting to see if they are playing a free at the back system here. On the assumption that they are going to be playing a free at the back, which was what the scout report said, but now it's saying they might not, I would be kind of more tempted not to play this system if I knew that they were playing the free at the back. But because the team selection seems to imply at least that they're likely to play a 4-2-3-1, I think we'll stick with this. Tolisso isn't suspended anymore, but you know what? I think we'll have him... I was going to say I think we'll have him on the bench. I don't think we actually will. Toussaint's also back, which is big news for us. So in terms of how we rotate things in, we'll bring in Toussaint. We'll bring in Ndombele, of course, at box-to-box midfielder. I think we'll start with Aouar on the bench, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with this team. Just need Gabels or Keane or someone just to find a bit of fitness. Not a bit of fitness, a bit of form. I think we'll bring Mendy in at left wing back as well. We'll go with this free at the back system. I feel like it suits us very well. Let's see how Toulouse do line up. Will it be a 4-2-3-1 or will they go with a free at the back? See, they've gone with a free at the back, which now makes me think I might want to change systems. Are they playing with 3 centre mids? I think they are. I think they're playing like a 5-3-3 or 5-3-2 even. 5-3-3 would mean they have no goalkeeper. Now that they've got 3 centre mids, I'm curious to see how maybe this system lines up against them. Of course, we saw Sochaux use this formation against us and we were able to beat them. Toulouse are bottom of the league right now. Let's see if we can get the early breakthrough. Keane in the box. That is a foul on Gabels, surely. We're going to VAR, but it's definitely going to give it. Vakir now to step up. The dream start would be to get a goal here and go out and slaughter the team bottom of the league. Vakir hits it straight at the keeper. I mean, that is not the dream start. Saved away. And let's hope that doesn't set the tone for today's game. Gabels was fouled in the box there. I did wonder if maybe he'd be the man to step up. He was not. I mean, so far we're dominating possession. They're doing absolutely nothing with it. Fakir whips it in here. Headed away. Keane back wide though to Fakir. Can he put in a better ball this time? He can. Ndombele's header though goes over the crossbar. Half an hour gone and we look like the dominant force, but we need to show it on the scoreline. It's been the story of this year really. Fakir with a set piece maybe whips it in. Can't beat the first man. Out to Moise Keane. Spreads it out to Fakir. Back post, Gabel's not quite there. Can Toussaint do anything here? He nods it down to himself out wide. Now with Fakir, inside to Coman. Nice build-up play here. Can we find the breakthrough? 10 minutes before half-time, this would be a great time to do just that. Coman's crosses blocked, falls to Fakir, kindly blocked shot. Second time of asking, the asking is answered. I will get my words out eventually. Fakir maybe making slight amends for his missed penalty there, at least getting the goal. He thought he might score from this initial effort, but it was deflected. He was the fastest to react Will Reinette in goal think he could have done better at the near post? I think he probably will, to be honest. Wasn't the craziest effort on goal, and the keeping was questionable. And, well, another highlight before half-time maybe. If we could get a second goal, that would steady the nerves. Bostock spreads the ball wide here to Sangaré. We apply pressure high up the pitch here, trying to win it. I think this is Ndombele doing some of the running. Is that? I think it is at number 28. Ball lumped forward. Lenglet reads it well, but only as far as Pefok. I mean, they've done nothing so far, but a goal here for them, as unjust as it would be, well, awful, frankly, because they've done nothing. They've not had much of the ball at all. When they have had it, it's not been threatening. Although Toussaint winning the ball here could spell disaster for them. Moise Keane down this left-hand side, cuts in, uses his weaker foot, back post to Coman. Lovely little ball in and a lovely little goal. The two inside forwards linking up delightfully. We can breathe, everyone. We can relax, I think, at this point. Nice bit of build-up play. Toussaint dinking the ball wide. Moise Keane again cutting inside onto, well, I was going to say onto his right foot. He didn't use his right foot there. He's used his weaker foot to deliver the ball in. And to be fair, he wouldn't have known it. That was inch perfect on Coman's head. 2 goals up, and despite a missed penalty, things are going okay. They've swapped one regen out with another. They've taken off Alfredo here, who looks insane. He's on loan from Grêmio. Interesting that they're loaning a player from Brazil. That's an unusual move. Who was the player they brought on? It was this guy. Milagres. Is he good? He's on loan from another Brazil. Apparently, Toulouse just like loaning players from Brazil, which is unusual. I've never really seen that before. From a team at the bottom of the French division, loaning just players from the French Serie A. Am I right in thinking the Brazil League is called Serie A? I feel like it is. It probably has a different pronunciation. Ndombele's had an awful return. We'll bring in Tolisso for him. Cabel's hasn't been ideal, but I'm going to keep the faith in him. Going to keep the faith. I didn't want to do opposition instructions. I wanted to do a shout. And let's do just that. I want to get shouty. 21 minutes left. I'd like us to get a goal or two more. We've been absolutely dominant in this game, to be honest. We probably could have gone to the more attacking system, but we've stuck it out with the 3-man midfield, and it's more than match to lose here. I think their lack of shots at all is perhaps an indicator of how much they've struggled. Fekir, free kick, hits the outside of the post, and they managed to lump it clear. 2-0 feels flattering at this moment in time. But I do think that is going to be all she wrote for this game. We've been the better team, and I think that's really shown on the scoreline here. It's been top draw from us. Maybe one last chance from this corner, whipped in by Fekir. Can't beat the front post, but it doesn't matter. As the commentator said, we were never really in doubt of losing this one. We pull 7 points ahead of Gungam, who do have a game in hand. But I'm happy. I'm very happy with that. That is the kind of game we needed. Just a nice, relaxing match. Dijon in sick for playing here. Auxerre playing Havre. I hope they can do us a favour. Sochaux can do us a favour as well against Gungam. That would be good. It's always interesting in France. It feels like whenever you're in continental competition, you never really play at the same time as everyone else. So there's always this element of, trying to set the bar, I guess, and force teams to try and match our performances. Sochaux get a win. Auxerre draw. Dijon did unfortunately win. Good results as far as we're concerned. Very good results, actually, as far as we're concerned. You can see Auxerre drawing is a big one in terms of we're 8 points behind them with a game in hand. We're 5 points ahead of Dijon, who have played a game more. Gungam lost against Sochaux, so they've played the same amount of games and trail us by 7. And at the halfway point now, I feel like, I don't want to say we're cruising towards a top 4 finish, but it doesn't really feel in doubt like perhaps it once did. Good to see Tizzy getting a crucial goal there. Keita got an assist for Auxerre in their 2-2 draw. Mario Ferreira did absolutely nothing for Brest, unfortunately, and neither did DJ on his appearance for them there. So we've got a game against Rennes. I have a feeling that might be one of our games in hand that we have, with the various other teams who have played 20. I think we'll come back for that one next time, and as well as that, of course, we will be moving, through the winter break possibly into the start of, the January window and beyond. Almost certainly into the January window. I don't think there's an international break here. I think it's just a rest. So yeah, next episode we might just only get 2 games done. I guess it depends on what foraying we do into the transfer market. Beyond that, though, we've got, I want to say, an easier run of games, a group of winnable games, but these are the same games that at the start of the year I thought were winnable and we did awful. So I don't know. It's going to be a challenging start to January, but not necessarily in terms of the difficulty of the fixtures, but there might be a test of our mental fortitude. You can see when you look through things now, since the start of September we've lost 2 games. That's a really good run of form in the last 4 months. It's just a shame that we've perhaps drawn a few too many in the league. But really, the fact that we're trading so hard in the league is just defined by that awful start to the year, which we have to now put to the back of our mind. Hopefully we won't feel too much of a hangover after the winter break. And we can start January much better than we started that August, which I would really rather forget right now. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. Hopefully you have enjoyed as always. If you have, do drop a like on the video. I'll see you guys again soon. It is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.